On a cold, rainy midnight, billionaire Daniel Carter angrily throws his pregnant maid Lena out of his mansion, accusing her of stealing his $50,000 watch. With nowhere to go, Lena collapses in the rain and is rushed to the hospital. When the hospital calls Daniel's wife, Emily, she rushes there only to discover something shocking. Lena is innocent. The missing watch is later found inside Daniel's own gym locker, and his brother admits he borrowed it. Realizing he nearly caused the death of an innocent pregnant woman and her baby, Daniel is forced to face the consequences of his cruelty. But Lena refuses to return to his house, choosing dignity and a safer life for her child instead. That night becomes the moment that changes Daniel Carter forever. Midnight. The rain was pouring like the sky itself had broken, and on the cold marble steps of a luxurious Sissa mansion stood a trembling pregnant woman, holding a small bag. With nowhere to go. Behind her, the tall wooden door slammed shut. "Get out of my house!" The furious voice of the millionaire echoed from inside. The woman didn't even try to knock again. Her name was Lena Brooks, a quiet maid who had worked in that mansion for 2 years. She had cleaned every room, washed every dish, and kept the house spotless. But tonight, she had been thrown out like she was nothing. Lena wrapped her thin sweater around her stomach, trying to protect the baby growing inside. Her hands trembled, not from the rain, but from fear. Inside the mansion lived Daniel Carter, a wealthy businessman known for his ruthless personality. His company owned hotels, restaurants, and luxury apartments across the city. To the world, he looked like a perfect success story. But to the people who worked for him, he was cold, impatient, and unforgiving. And tonight, he believed Lena had done something unforgivable. Just hours earlier, chaos had erupted inside the house. Daniel's expensive diamond watch had gone missing. The watch was worth nearly $50,000. When the house staff were questioned, everyone denied taking it. Except Daniel's eyes stopped on Lena. "Search her bag." "Search her bag," he ordered. The house manager hesitated. "Selena has worked here for years." "She would never," I said, "search it." Daniel shouted. Lena stood frozen as the manager opened her small handbag. Inside were only a phone, a wallet, and a tiny pair of baby socks. The room went silent. "No watch," the manager whispered. But Daniel's anger didn't fade. Instead, his face darkened even more. "You think I'm stupid?" he snapped. "You probably hid it somewhere." Lena's voice shook. "Sir, I didn't take anything." Daniel stepped closer, his tone icy. "You expect me to believe that?" His eyes moved down to her stomach. Only then did he realize she was pregnant. "How long?" he asked sharply. Lena swallowed. 7 months. The room felt tense. Daniel crossed his arms. "And you never thought to tell us?" I was afraid I would lose my job," she admitted softly. Daniel laughed coldly. "Well, congratulations," he said. "You just did." Gasps filled the room. "Sir, please," the manager said quietly. "It's raining outside." But Daniel didn't care. "If she's stealing from me, she doesn't belong in my house." Lena's eyes filled with tears. "I swear, I didn't take your watch." But Daniel had already turned away. "Get her out." The guards escorted her to the door. And just like that, her life collapsed. Outside, the rain soaked through her clothes within seconds. Lena slowly stepped away from the mansion gates. Her stomach tightened with pain. The baby kicked. She placed a hand on her belly. "It's okay," she whispered softly. But It wasn't okay. She had no money. No family nearby, no place to stay. The nearest bus stop was almost 2 miles away, and the rain kept falling harder. Streetlights flickered above the empty road. Cars rushed past, splashing water on the pavement, but none of them stopped. Lena walked slowly, each step heavier than the last. After 20 minutes, she began to feel dizzy. Her breathing became uneven. She leaned against the wall. Pain shot through. Stomach. Not normal pain. Something worse. She whispered. The baby moved again. Her knees weakened. She tried to keep walking, but suddenly her legs gave out. She collapsed onto the wet sidewalk. Her vision blurred, and somewhere in the distance, a car stopped. Footsteps rushed toward her. Hey! Miss, can you hear me? A stranger's voice, but Lena could barely speak. Hey, baby? The man immediately pulled out his phone. Ambulance. Hurry. A pregnant woman just collapsed. Within minutes, flashing red lights cut through the darkness. Paramedics rushed out. They carefully lifted Lena onto a stretcher. Her pulse was weak. 7 months pregnant. One medic said quickly, "She's hypothermic. Blood pressure dropping." The ambulance doors slammed shut. Sirens screamed into the night. As the vehicle sped toward the hospital, Lena drifted in and out of consciousness. She whispered only one thing, "Please save my baby." 30 minutes later, the ambulance arrived at St. Mary's Medical Center. Doctors rushed her into the emergency. Room. Machines beeped rapidly. Nurses moved quickly around the bed. One doctor frowned at the monitor. "She's severely stressed and dehydrated." Another nurse looked at the paperwork from the ambulance. "No ID except this work badge." The doctor picked it up. The badge read, "Lena Brooks Carter Residence Staff." The doctor paused. "Carter. As in Daniel Carter?" The nurse nodded slowly. "That mansion on Hillcrest Avenue." The doctor sighed. "Well, someone needs to inform the family connected to this address." He handed the nurse the phone. "Call the emergency contacts listed." With the residence, the nurse dialed the number. The call rang, once, twice, 3 times. Finally, someone answered. A calm female voice spoke. "Hello?" The nurse said carefully, "Ma'am, this is St. Mary's Medical Center. We have a woman here named Lena Brooks. She collapsed tonight and was brought to the hospital." A short silence followed. Then the woman replied, "Yes, she works at our house." The nurse continued, "She's 7 months pregnant and her condition is serious." Another pause. Then the nurse said something that would soon change everything. "Ma'am, we need someone from the Carter family to come immediately, because Lena listed your home as her workplace, and the baby may not survive the night." On the other end of the phone, the woman stood up suddenly. Her voice became sharp. "What?" She grabbed her keys instantly. "I'm coming right now." The nurse nodded. "Please hurry." The call ended, and the woman rushing out of the Carter mansion at midnight was Daniel Carter's wife. At exactly 12:47 a.m., a phone rang inside the Carter mansion. Daniel's wife, Emily Carter, answered. "Hello. Ma'am, this is St. Mary's Medical Center. We have a woman named Lena Brooks here. She collapsed tonight. She's 7 months pregnant and in critical condition." Emily froze. "Lena? Our maid?" "Yes, ma'am. We need someone from the Carter family to come immediately." Emily's heart started racing. "Is the baby okay? The doctors are trying to stabilize her." Emily grabbed her coat instantly. "I'm coming right now." As she rushed toward the door, she saw Daniel sitting calmly in the living room. "Where are you going?" he asked, Pangaea looked at him in shock. Lena's in the hospital. Daniel shrugged. Not my problem. Emily stared at him. What happened tonight? Daniel answered casually. I fired her. Why? She stole my watch. Emily frowned. Did you find it?
No. Then how do you know she stole it?
Daniel didn't answer. Emily felt anger rising in her chest. She's pregnant, Daniel. Daniel rolled his eyes. She shouldn't have stolen from me. Emily grabbed her keys. If anything happens to her, this is on you. And she walked out the door at the hospital. Emily rushed into the emergency room. Doctors were surrounding Lena's bed. Machines beeped loudly. Her face looked pale and weak. Emily felt horrible seeing her like this. What happened? Emily gasped the doctor. Severe stress and hypothermia, the doctor explained. She collapsed in the rain. Emily closed her eyes. This shouldn't have happened. Just then her phone rang. It was the Carter Mansion house manager. Ma'am? We found something. Emily frowned. What? The watch? Emily froze. Where? In Mr. Carter's gym locker. Emily felt her stomach drop. You're sure? Yes, ma'am. It must have fallen earlier. Emily's hands began shaking. That meant one thing. Lena was innocent. Emily looked at Lena lying unconscious in the hospital bed. Anger filled her chest. Daniel had thrown a pregnant woman into the rain. For nothing. Back at the mansion, Daniel finally noticed something strange. His younger brother Michael was nervously walking around the living room. Why are you pacing? Daniel asked. Michael looked uneasy. I need to tell you something. Daniel frowned. What? Michael sighed deeply. I took the watch earlier. Daniel's face darkened. What? I borrowed it for a party. I forgot to tell you. Danielle stood up instantly. You what? Michael looked ashamed. I was going to return it tomorrow. Daniel felt the blood drain from his face. That meant Lena had been telling the truth, and he had thrown her out anyway. Just then, Emily called him. Her voice was ice cold. Daniel. The doctors say Lena almost lost the baby. Daniel froze. Emily continued. And the watch was in your locker. Daniel's heart dropped. Emily's voice became even colder. You need to come to the hospital. Now. Daniel arrived at the hospital 30 minutes later. For the first time in years, he looked nervous. Emily stood in the hallway with her arms crossed. You owe her more than an apology, she said. Daniel walked into the hospital room slowly. Lena was awake now, weak, but alive. When she saw Daniel, fear appeared in her eyes. Daniel struggled to speak. I was wrong. Silence filled the room. I found the watch, he continued quietly. You didn't steal anything? Tears formed in Lena's eyes. I told you. Daniel looked down in shame. I know. For the first time in his life, the powerful billionaire had no words. He took a deep breath. You and your baby will have everything you need. I'll cover the hospital bills. And you can come back to work. But Lena slowly shook her head. No, Daniel looked surprised. I don't want to go back. Her voice was soft, but strong. I just want a safe life for my child. Emily stepped forward. You'll have that, she said gently. Then she looked at Daniel. And she won't be working for us? Instead, Emily helped Lena find a new apartment, medical care, and financial support. Months later, Lena gave birth to a healthy baby girl. and Daniel Carter. The night he threw a pregnant woman into the rain became the moment that changed his life forever. Because sometimes the biggest lessons come from the mistakes we can never undo.